Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So today we're going to cover some more of the fallout from the Nijisanji situation, including some of the responses to Dokibird's final statement on the situation, including a harassment and smear campaign being raised by some of Nijisanji's fans, who are trying to do this in an attempt to clear the names of the heavily criticized Nijisanji Ian Livers who have gone after Selene/Dokibird, and as you might imagine, that campaign is backfiring pretty horribly. But let's remind ourselves where we are. So a few days ago, Alira Pandora, Vox Akuma, and Ike Evelyn released a joint statement addressing the termination of Selene. In this statement, they not only throw Selene under the bus, but they also refer to a legal document that, as we now know, Dokibird never intended for them to see. It was something supposed to be only shared between her lawyer and the lawyers at Nijisanji. And yesterday she released this statement. If you want a more in-depth breakdown, you can watch my video from yesterday. But basically she says this is her final public statement on the matter, unless of course Nijisanji makes another public response. But she clarifies some of the more disturbing details of this situation, as well as confirms once again her intention that this legal document was only to be shared between her lawyer and Nijisanji's lawyer, and this was not something to be viewed by the Ian Livers or by the public. Now, she has stayed true to this word. She has moved on and gone to some happier subjects like celebrating the birthday of Doki Amber Doge. I mean, look at that little wiener dog. Go to Twitter and wish it a happy birthday. But nonetheless, that would be enough to get Doki Amber trending in the business and finance section of Twitter. But there was another term that was trending, or a phrase, which is positive spam for Niji En. An attempt to spam positive messages about Niji En Livers to help bolster their name in the face of public criticism right now. Well, we've seen something like spam for Niji En before, and it came directly from the Niji En Livers, who were spam retweeting the message shared by Alira Pandora, the video containing the joint statement from her and two of her mates from Nijisanji En, and we see how that went. They're hemorrhaging subscribers. Nijisanji En as a whole has lost nearly 200,000 subscribers ever since the termination of Selene was announced, and most of that happening since the joint statement only a few days ago. Now, of course, a lot of people are mocking this hashtag because really it just seems like a lot of cope. People not accepting the fact that some of these Nijisanji En talents look really bad right now, and Dokibird is winning the public perception war right now very clearly. And some people are making jokes like this, using the hashtag saying, I figured I'd contribute by posting an image of all my favorite livers. Oh wait. And it's a list of course, graduated and terminated Nijisanji members. And going forward, here's another one saying, here are some of my favorite Nijisanji En talents. Truly amazing content and just such a positive experience. Of course, showing the three livers who were in the joint statement. And it says, P.S. A huge congratulations to Alira Pandora for getting her most viewed live stream a couple days ago. The like-dislike ratio is amazing. And of course, on the official Nijisanji subreddit, there is this post right here that's been shared and laughed at by many saying, congratulations to Alira Pandora for reaching 1 million views on her latest stream, which is of course the message from Nijisanji En that has been heavily criticized. That is not a good thing for them. And of course, all of this hasn't stopped the Nijisanji Defense Force on Twitter, who has been going after Dokibird, Selene, and anyone supporting them. No matter how grim the situation might look, no matter how much evidence is stacked up against Nijisanji, they don't care. They keep fighting and defending for them. And you know what? As Dokibird has said, she wants to keep these things silent, right? She doesn't want to talk about this anymore publicly. She wants to move on. But I think it's also fair that if there's going to be people out there still talking poorly about her or speaking positively or making excuses for Nijisanji, they deserve criticism if they're going to do that. And I think that's what a lot of people find very fair about this situation. And we're going to see some crazy things said about Dokibird and Nijisanji. So here's one tweet quoting Dokibird's final statement saying, having lived with an Amber Heard-esque person for 17 years, I can attest this is some Amber Heard level BS. I gave Doki lots of benefit of the doubt, even donated to her after she was terminated, but I've seen enough. pure manipulation, self-contradiction, and obvious lies. And of course, they don't really have anything to back up those claims. But this idea of comparing Doki Bird to Amber Heard is absolutely insane. And also pretending to know behind the scenes type stuff about these people is really just pure, I don't know, parasocialism. And that's reflected in other tweets. So here's one user, quote retweeting Doki Bird's final statement on the matter, saying, "Your fandom are keep attacking livers and their fans, including harassing attack with sexual harassing in X, in YouTube, in everywhere, and already made many innocent people suffer panic attacks, extreme anxiety, even self-hurt. If I'm not witness those disaster, I won't give you any react, but if you still have duty as a VTuber, a public person, please post a formal tweet to stop your fans from harassing innocents, not just say it in stream," which saying it in stream is making a public statement. I don't know what they're trying to get at, but this user would quote them saying, "Are you being serious? Nijisanji, along with Alira, Vox, and Ike, with all the other talents, created this mess. She wanted to keep this stuff private and between lawyers, but Niji kept trying to publicly attack her, and this stuff backfired, and she has to clean up their mess? F off," which is a very fair statement. If these livers chose to come out and make this statement that backfired horribly, the consequences of that is their own. That has nothing to do with Doki Bird. She did not want to make this a public mess, a public fight, but Nijisanji, through its management and then through its livers, made this a public fight, and it's just one that they're losing really, really badly, and they have to clean up the mess themselves. That's not the responsibility of Doki Bird, who, by the way, has reiterated at every turn to not harass people over this subject and this ongoing situation between her and Nijisanji. Moving forward about the parasocial aspect of this same user from the previous tweet is saying that they're having panic attacks as a result of seeing this situation unfold, and referring to parties involved as friends being attacked. All of this is very unhealthy, and I think people like this are way too invested in this situation. It just shows the levels people are going to defend Nijisanji and the talents, and they just won't accept that maybe, just maybe, some of these livers made some bad choices, and now they're suffering the public consequences of that. But here's another tweet saying, "The comments are really pissing me off," asking the question, "Why are y'all not taking accountability for your actions?" Then the livers speak up, then quoting, "Why are they using them as meat shields?" Okay, fine. The CEO then speaks up, "Black company, this just makes things worse. Settle this privately." And then the original poster asks, "What do y'all want?" Well, people wanted this to be handled the way that Doki Bird wanted, according to her wishes, to keep this private, to keep this legal document private between the legal representation of herself and Nijisanji, instead of having it shown to the livers, including private information, to not have this private information shared in a stream. This is absolutely ridiculous. Of course people are going to criticize this, and on many occasions where the livers and Nijisanji itself, through its management, have spoken about this topic, they've done so very disingenuously or very contradictory to other public statements that they've made. People are not happy with it. They don't seem genuine to them. It seems like a deflection or an attack every single time anything comes out of Nijisanji or its livers. That's why people will not accept what they're doing. It's clear damage control, because this thing did not go away like I'm assuming the management thought it would after a day or two from the announcement of the termination, but it's continued on for well over a week now, and the stock continues to plummet. It's clearly not getting through to people. They're not buying these excuses. Here's another user saying, "I feel like some of y'all just refuse to side with staff no matter what. Sorry, but this one is on her," referring to Doki Bird and Selene. "Asking for perms a day before release, then releasing it without approval, really is not the way to go about it." So this aged very poorly. This was referring to the public statement made by Alira, Vox, and Ike. And we now know, through some of the private document that was leaked, a section of the private document that was leaked during this statement, we know that that perm involving her cover that was taken down by management back in December, the IP issue with that, the rights issue, was referring to the IP rights of Mista and Nina, who are former members of Nijisanji. It wasn't like some random music producer or anything like that. She had all of those. She just didn't have the IP rights, according to Nijisanji, for these ex-members. And that's something that should have been handled very quickly. It maybe shouldn't have been an issue in the first place, but that's what it all comes down to. People are saying basically you deserve everything that came your way just because you didn't get the IP rights. It's such a stretch. You know, when we heard the statement from the 3 members of Nijisanji, they harped over and over again that she was a rule breaker and one who was consistently doing it. But it all came down to getting things like permissions, where it seemed like Nijisanji should have been acting faster. I'm sorry, for a big company like Nijisanji, a day should have been enough to figure things out. But it wasn't in this case, and now we're all going to attack Selene. It seems a bit unfair to me. But here's another message that's been getting a lot of attention over the past couple days. This was made 2 days ago. It's saying this: to those attacking Alira, Vox, and Ike. This is a message from a Japanese listener to those who are attacking Alira, Vox, and alike. Nijisanji once had a liver that caused a lot of damage by attacking specific livers and leaking information to the outside. Due to the delay in the company's response at the time, Liver, who was attacked by the perpetrator and his listeners, was hurt and has been inactive for more than 3 years. Your blind faith has gone beyond the scope of protecting Selene and has reached the point of attacking others. You should take a neutral position and calm down. We don't know which argument is correct, but your attacks on Livers are completely evil. Now, this reference to Selene, or this insinuation that she was attacking specific livers and leaking information to the outside, is plain wrong, and yet this tweet has 14,000 likes. If you go to the original, one of the more recent statements that was made by Nijisanji, you can see it's fact-checked by the original termination announcement, where they are, of course, mentioning that the livers are not held to any confidentiality obligations, but then again, they're also being terminated for those same reasons. None of it really makes sense. And in none of these documents, nothing that's happened or the public statement, was there any implication that Selene was publicly targeting or outing any of these. This was all meant to be a private matter. It was Nijisanji and their livers that took it publicly and shared this document around the company to people who were not supposed to see it. So the idea of leaking information is also completely ridiculous, because that was never the intention of Selene or Dokibird. And I also don't really take statements like this very seriously when the hidden replies are filled with people correcting the information being shared in the original post. That just doesn't really sit right with me and doesn't seem very sincere. However, a lot of people have been seeing through this nonsense, including this artist right here. We've actually featured her in at least 2 videos that involved Xenoblade-related drama, where she says this: "Did you know we became mutuals over Xenoblade? Don't care, bye." So she is showing here that she was once mutuals with Alira Pandora and then blocked her as a result of everything that's happened. And she added this further statement saying, "I thought long and hard about it all day. Never blame the talents, but I cannot justify, even if they were held at gunpoint to make a statement, or even if they were held prisoner with a JP work visa. Morally, this whole situation does not sit right with me. I'm done." And really, it's just that simple. If you see someone doing this sort of stuff, throwing their former agency members under the bus, seemingly to save the company, it just doesn't sit right with a lot of people. And as always, you know, I'll link this art in the description. Go check it out. They make very good art. And yeah, consider giving them a follow and a like as well. But overall, this situation is not being remedied. It's certainly not being remedied by harassing Dokibird or trying to prop up the people involved with the joint statement. The stock of any color continues to plummet every single day, and I don't really know what else could help jolt life into this other than just being quiet. That is the best route for Nijisanji to go right now, is to stay quiet and let this blow over and stop opening her mouth and making this situation worse and worse. And that goes for the fans who are supposedly trying to help as well. But that's going to do it for this video. I know we talked about a lot today, so share all of your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.